Hello, welcome to Win Some Loosemore. My name is Dieter and you join me for Why I Like, a series of videos where I take you through some of the games in our collection and tell you why I like them. Today I'll be telling you why I like Tiny Towns. Tiny Towns is a 2 to 6 little abstract, placing cubes out on a thing to shrink them down to build buildings in your tiny town. It's confusing, it's a little bit abstract. Let me show you how it works. Hopefully that will explain it better, and we'll come back and I'll tell you why I like Tiny Towns. So here I've set up the game, but I've only set up one player's area. All of this would be identical no matter the player count. I've done it in slight arc so it fits in, but each player will get one of these boards and one of these cards, but this will be secret. I've just got it flipped up so you can see what it is, because each of these is a different type of building that scores a different way and is built in different ways. You can see there is a little pattern at the bottom of each, and the text underneath tells you how it scores. The cottages, this first one here, is always the same. It's in every game. It's always that shape with those colors, and you get 3 points if this building is fed. Fed comes from the farms typically, which are these red buildings here. And in this game, a farm feeds 4 buildings that need it anywhere in your town, but each type of building, apart from the cottage, comes with a few that it could be, so each game will be slightly different. And then there is a big stack of these pink ones. Everybody gets their own individual one with a different shape and a different way of scoring. This one is your unfed cottages are worth 3 points each. So if I built this one during the game, it won't matter whether I've fed those buildings or not, they'll still be worth 3 points each. Bakery, in this case the yellow ones, 3 points if adjacent to a red or a dark blue, so farm or bank in this game. The cloister, 1 point for each cloister in the corner of your town, so that's kind of a square value, so 1 is worth 1. If you've built another one here, that one's worth 2 and that one's worth 2. So it gets better and better as you go along. The bank, these are usually the most confusing ones. 4 points, just anyway. But when constructed, place a resource on this building that is not on another bank in your town as master builder. That means when it's my turn to call the resource, which I'll explain in a minute, you cannot call the resource that's on this building. Fine. So it's worth points, but it hampers you slightly. The green one's the inn, 3 points if not in a row or column with another one. And these little grey discs, the millstone, 2 points if adjacent to a red or yellow building, farm or bakery. So that's how we're going to score points in this game. As I say, it'll be different each time, apart from the cottages, which remain the same. And you can see there's a little pool of resources here of 5 different types. And you go around, when you are master builder, that just means it's your turn, and you call out, you say one of these resource types. So let's say I'm going to aim to build my special one because that helps me most. I'm going to say brown. And so everybody then has to take one of the brown resources and place it anywhere on their board. You cannot place where there's already a building or already a cube. So I'm going to try and plan my building as best as I can. I am going to actually place it in this corner because that leaves me open. Gives me the option to build this one, this one, this one, this one, or this one, depending on what other people call. And that's my whole turn. It goes to somebody else. Let's say they call yellow. So I take a yellow, and do I want to continue or do I want to start somewhere else? My cottages will score regardless. Let's start building an inn. So let's go in this corner. Somebody else calls another one, let's say red, and I go, hooray, red helps me. I'm going to put that there. Somebody else calls grey. Oh, that's not so helpful. Let's put it there. And it comes back to me, and I say brown again. Oh, I should have put the grey there, never mind. Somebody else is very helpful to me though, and they do say grey, so I get to take the grey. Now that I've completed this shape, I get to reveal this card. As I say, it would be hidden, but I'm showing it to you. And I remove all of these cubes and place the associated building, in this case the pink one, into one of the squares that contributed to the building of this. I don't want to put it in the corner because I'm hoping to be able to build the cloister later. So I remove all of those and I place my first building into my tiny town. And this has helped me greatly, and play just continues. People keep calling out different things. Let's say somebody said red. Do I want this anywhere? What's going to help me? No, not really. Let's put it there and gamble. Someone says blue, fine. I'm going to do this, collapse this down into one of the ends. I am going to put it in the corner because otherwise it will become too much of a risk, and on we go. I'll show you a completed board. So for example, let's say this is the stage I am at. I can only really fill this place. There's no more buildings I can do. So if I just say yellow, that was my turn. I am now done. I cannot play anymore because my board is full. We continue until nobody can play anymore. And then we remove any excess cubes. These were places I built myself into a corner, so I return these. These are worth nothing to me. And then we proceed to scoring. The game comes with a handy little pad to do all the scoring on. And I'll just give you an example of this one here. So let's start with these. I don't have any, so that's going to be worth nothing to me. The cottages, I have 3 of them on the board, and because I built this, it doesn't matter whether they're fed or not, so that'll be 9 points. The cloisters, I've got 2 in corners, so each one is worth 2 points, that's 4 points. The inns, the green ones there, 3 points if not in a row or column, so they're worth 3 points each, so that's 6 points. The yellows, what was the yellow ones? The bakeries, 3 points if adjacent to a red or a black, and the dark blue rather. So this one's worth 3 points because it's adjacent to the red, but this one is not, so I only get 3 points for the yellows. The little wells here, or millstones in this case, 2 points if adjacent to a red or a yellow, and they are both adjacent to a yellow, so that'd be 4 points. My pink doesn't actually score me anything, some of them do. This just enabled me to score the cottages, whether they were fed or not. And then you get minus points for your empty spaces, because I removed those cubes as you have to. I've now got 3 empty spaces there, so I would get minus 3 points. So everybody does that scoring. You tot up all the points, and whoever has the most points wins. So why do I like tiny towns? Well, firstly, it's very simple. As much as it's kind of hard to explain, a bit abstract in how all the scoring cards go together, the core mechanic of somebody says a color cube and everybody just places that somewhere, and then when you've got the right combination, you shrink them down, you get the building. That's a very familiar thing for people, a very simple thing for people, almost bingo-esque. Somebody calls a number and you stamp out your thing. So it's kind of just bingo. So it's very simple to teach people in that regard. How to play is very simple to teach. But I enjoy that this is not just a simple game. Although mechanically it's very simple, what I've typically found when I've taught it to people is, and when I learnt it myself, the first game, you're getting your head around the system, you're getting your head around how it all works and trying to read all the cards and the buildings, and you generally do quite badly because you just don't plan it well, because you haven't had to do that thinking. You're just getting your head around, oh, I want to put this here, what's best, and you're going after a couple of them. But it takes the first game to really get how you go about doing that. And sometimes that's a bad thing in games, but this is just a very fast game. It says 45 minutes. Maybe at 5-6 player it would, although again it's a simultaneous thing, so who knows. So why do I like tiny towns? Well, initially, bright colours, it looks pleasing, which goes into my first point really. Yes, the aesthetics are nice, but it adds to the accessibility. This is a very simple game to teach people. Somebody says a cube, everybody puts that on their board. That's the whole game. When you've got the right combination of things, it shrinks down, it becomes one of these ways of scoring, or ways of building your pattern, building your little town. So conceptually, super simple. People understand it straight away. Visually, nice bright colors, very appealing, lovely artwork. So people want to play it quite quickly. What I find though, and I think this is a good thing, is that usually your first game won't go so well. You get about halfway through and you suddenly realize, oh, I've planned this badly. I needed to think more about where I build these buildings, not just where I build them in relation to others, or can I build them at all? And so there's this really interesting kind of journey that people go on within their first couple of games, of going, cool, I get it, let's play. Halfway through the first game going, oh, I did this badly. Okay, let's try and do it better for the end of this first game, but I know I've not done so well, let's play it again. And they immediately do much better. And that, I think it's a good thing, because the reaction I had personally, and then I've had every time I've taught it, is that people, not myself, I don't suggest it, somebody immediately goes, can we try that again? Can we do that again? Okay, I know what I did wrong. Let's do it again. Cool, right. And then they're good to go. And that, for me, if people can lose and essentially do badly at a thing and immediately want to try it again to make it better, it provides that just internal challenge that people want to improve. They want to do this well, that there's a puzzle here that doesn't look ridiculous and unsolvable, looks really achievable and attainable, and then it becomes the fine-tuning of how effectively we're doing that compared to others. And then you throw the spanner in the works that you change out how the buildings score and how they relate, and you need that first 5 minutes to just figure out what your strategy is going to be. I love that there is an element of strategy to this, that I'm going to go after these 3 types of buildings, I'm going to feed all of these so that they score, that's what I'm going after. But then it's incredibly tactical, because the third person away from you just calls a cube that you just desperately didn't want, and how are you going to place that to do something else? What's your backup plan? And so there's a great amount of depth, and I'd say almost infinite replayability, because everybody's going to play it slightly differently to this game. Now there's a scaling thing here. It comes with a solo mode. It's okay. 2-player is good, it's fine. You've got a lot of control over what you're doing. For me, 3 and 4 kind of are the peak for this game. And then 5 and 6 is so chaotic that it can be good, that can be fun, it can be what you're looking for, but I'm so used to more Euro-style, crunchy, get points, be efficient kind of games, that for me, being able to only call 1 cube in 6, that I struggle with that a little bit. That makes it less fun for me, but I know other people absolutely love that just whole get what you're given and figure out how to make the best of it. Sure, if that's what you like, in theory you could get 2 copies of this and play 12 people, because it doesn't really make any difference in that sense of scalability. But I think in terms of the arc of what's best, I'd probably say 3 or 4 is probably the best player count for this. You may disagree, do so in the comments below. But that's it, it's nice and simple, it's light, people keep wanting to play it, they want to play it again and again, which is great. You do badly once, you'd want to do it even better next time. You do well, you want to do even better next time. So it's gone down very well. As I say, the aesthetic doesn't hurt at all. It's a great little game. Pick it up if you want to. Nice and simple. People have wondered whether you could just copy each other and just there's no difference in how everybody plays. I really think those pink, the individual buildings really solve that, because you want to score that one because it does it your own way, and therefore your pattern is different and how you're going about it is different, which will force everybody to be different. So people could copy if they're learning or if they just are lazy for a bit, but after a while that becomes impossible. So I think they've managed that quite well. But yeah, if you're looking for a light bingo style game that people actually want to come back to, Tiny Towns is a great example of it. So that's why I like Tiny Towns. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen or find it interesting, then do consider subscribing to the channel and hit the bell icon so you stay updated when we put out new content. You can follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the normal places. Just search Win Some Loosemore, you will find us. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you again on the next one. I have been Dieter for Win Some Loosemore. Goodbye.